It's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. We're talking postseason baseball, the ALCS between the Astros and the Rays for one day only. This Thursday, the 15th of October, you can get Scott Rickenbach's weekly pass for all of his picks for only $99. Where the Rays have a 3-1 series lead. This is game 5 between these two squads. We've got Scott Rickenbach joining us to talk some baseball. Scott, early thoughts on this one?
Yes, the Rays, of course, had won the first 3 games in this series before the Astros got that win as a small dog last night. And I like the Rays, though, here to bounce back in this one. What I'm looking at in this matchup is we don't have the pitching matchup just yet for this game. But when you look at the overall depth of pitching with these teams, I definitely like the Rays and their deep bullpen that they have, and that can be a key in this game 5. They certainly don't want to let this get extended to 6 games, and I look for the Rays now to close out the Astros. Remember, they have playoff revenge against the Astros as Houston took them out of the postseason last year, and Tampa Bay, of course, rushed out to that 3-0 series lead here. Part of the key for me, and I backed the Rays often early on in this series, it was because of the fact that a lot of people don't look at this, but we're not just talking about that these games are being played at a neutral site. It's how well did the teams play away from home. So it's not just about who's the designated road team and who's the designated home team game by game. To me, one of the important factors I looked at in this postseason is how well did teams play away from home, because these games are away from home. And we saw the Yankees, the Rays faced in the divisional round, and the Rays got rid of them. The Yankees had a very poor record. I think it was 11-18 on the road in the regular season. How about these Astros? 9-23 was their road record in the regular season. And sure enough, they have struggled in the postseason once they've stepped up in level of competition and had to face a very tough, revenge-minded Rays team. And by the way, also in the regular season, the Astros only went 4-13 against teams with a winning record. When they faced a team that had a record above 500, 4-13, that is horrible. In my mind, the Astros were lucky to make it this far, and the Rays will finish them off here in game 5, in my opinion, and that's my play on the money line. Now, if we see too pricey of a money line, then of course, and I'm talking by too pricey, I mean when we start to get into the 170, 180 range, maybe take a look at the run line here. I'm not really expecting that, though, in this matchup because I don't expect a huge starting pitching mismatch. So again, what I'm looking at here is based on the bullpens and also just the overall momentum factor. Again, I know the Astros won last night, but Tampa Bay taking those first 3 games and have been the better team overall in this series thus far.
Well, for sure, Tampa Bay has looked like the better team defensively. My goodness, it looked like half the team won Gold Gloves in some of these games. If you had any of the Astros team total runs, you were definitely scratching your head because it seemed like every time they hit the ball, they were hitting it hard, but the Rays were just making all kinds of incredible plays when it comes to the outfield. And then you've got Jose Altuve at second base for the Astros, who couldn't even seem to make a throw to first. So it was a big mismatch when it came to the defense. And then you just wonder how long these Astros young pitching arms can really keep it up, because earlier in the postseason, they're doing really well. Because this is a bullpen that is completely almost different from when the Astros were in the World Series. Brad Peacock's hurt, Smith opted out, and I think Davinsky's still hurt. So it's a lot of the young guys that they're leaning on. And I know we talk about pitching a lot when it comes to Tampa Bay, but their sticks are pretty good as well. Rosarina seems to be one of the best hitters in the postseason. And so this is a complete Tampa Bay team, not just pitching and defense, but also pretty good hitters as well.
You're right. They really stepped up. That's been the key for them this year. That's why they were one of the best teams in baseball, no doubt, and have a great chance to win it all this season because they are a more complete team now. You used to always worry about those Tampa Bay sticks, but they have stepped it up to another level this season, and it's helped to take them kind of over the hump, in my opinion. It's what's really taken them to that next level that they've been trying to get to. So very good point, too, about the fielding, because the Astros have had some major issues, and that has hurt them badly, and yet the Rays making spectacular plays, like you said. Good point on that, on the fielding.
Right, and then one final note, the Astros playing on the road, Last series, they got to play at Dodger Stadium, and that is somewhere where they have very fond memories. They won a World Series against the Dodgers, so a lot of those guys performed well at Dodger Stadium. This one's at Petco Park, so it's a little different. I don't think they have the fond memories there quite as much. I think that the
Very
change in
true.
venue has not been kind to the Astros.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good point too, for sure. And this also is a hitter-friendly park, and they've made some adjustments at Petco Park. And after those adjustments, of course, it's turned into more of a hitter's park. The ball flying out of the yard with much more regularity there now, and with the Rays having that pitching edge, it served them well because they're keeping the ball in the yard a little bit more. And this part just hasn't played out well for the Astros for sure. So I like the Rays to close it out here in Game 5.
That's going to do it for our baseball talk here on Picks and Parlays. Good stuff from Scott Rickenbach. Scott, thanks for joining us.